Welcome to the Good News Watchman YouTube channel. Today we're going to do a little Bible study on what is a watchman. You hear this term thrown out everywhere, all over the place right now in the times that we're in. And we're just going to have a small Bible study on what a watchman is and why they're popping up in the day. We'll look at Ezekiel 3 verse 17. Son of man, I've made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word of my mouth, and give them warning from me. When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to him to warn the wicked from his wicked way, to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand. Yet if thou warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul. And also, if we look in the same book, in Ezekiel 33, verse 6, it also reads, But if the watchman see the sword come, and blow not the trumpet, and the people be not warned, if the sword come and take any person from among them, he is taken away in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at the watchman's hand. So thou, O son of man, I have set thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore thou shalt near the word at my mouth, and warn them from me. And what you will take away from the two bits of scripture in Ezekiel that I read to you is the prophets all over the Old Testament and in the New Testament. The watchman, someone who is given authority to warn the people. God's placed a warning in their hearts and in their minds, and we'll look at a couple of stories and the differences within them on examples of watchmen and how it ties into today's times. So we'll go to Genesis 6. And the Lord said, My spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. Talking about Noah and the flood, and Noah for 120 years preaching to the people that God had put on his heart a warning that he would flood the earth. We'll look at Noah as we go to the New Testament in 2 Peter 2:5. And spared not the whole world, but saved Noah, the eighth person, a preacher of righteousness, bringing in the flood upon the world of the ungodly. And Noah being one of the Bible's first real watchmen, God had given him a warning on his heart as he began to preach for 100 to around 120 years that a flood, something that had never happened on earth to the people. And of course, you'll know that no one listened to him except for his family. But we'll look at a different watchman story in the book of Jonah. And Jonah began to enter into the city a day's journey, and he cried and said, Yet 40 days, and Nineveh shall be overthrown. So the people of Nineveh believed God, and proclaimed a fast, and put on sackcloth, from the greatest of them even to the least of them. And as you can see in the story of Jonah, another watchman proclaimed that 40 days would the city of Nineveh be overthrown. And of course, they repented of their sins and listened to the watchman. And God had seen, where they had listened to him through Jonah, and the city was spared. Whereas in Noah, no one listened to him, the watchman. And of course, at the end, there was a mighty flood. But if we tie those two stories in today's time, and why you see so many Watchman channels on YouTube, end times preachers, and even Jesus himself would talk about the times that we're in, and why there needs to be a watchman. Matthew 24. And Jesus answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass. But the end is not yet. For nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, and pestilences, and earthquakes, and diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. And it keeps going, and you can read all of Matthew 24 and throughout all the New Testament. And God has given not just me, but hundreds and hundreds throughout the world a warning, so to say, on their heart to be a watchman, to look at the times, read the scriptures in the Bible, look at the news, and tie them in for a warning as we're watching and warning people that Jesus' soon return draweth nigh. And I just want to end this small Bible study in James chapter 5 verse 8. Be ye also patient, establish your hearts, for the coming of the Lord draweth nigh. And that's the simple reason why there's so many Watchman channels on YouTube, and preachers preaching on these times, and a lot of preachers not wanting to preach on these times because somewhere deep down they know how close we are to Jesus' return, and just trying to get the word out to get as many people saved as possible. Because there's so much in people's hearts right now that, have wrote the revelation of Jesus in the back of the Bible, and Daniel and all the prophets. They know the times we're in, and you can avoid the worst time in human history by just accepting Jesus, the free gift that was paid on the cross for all of human sins. No one was meant to go through the tribulations that are to come. And that's why there's so many watchmen out there forcing the truth out there. Everyone's got their own different ways of doing it, of seeing it. But if you go to the root of it, it all turns into the same, that we know that time can't go on much further. For you look at the Bible and you look at the news and you wrap them up in one big bow of Jesus must return soon for his people, and tribulation is about to hit planet Earth.